Hi there. I wanted to talk today about one thing that I recommend you change for your health and also for the health of your kids. So we were going to go through that, and then I have an announcement to make for the vegetarians because I've had some people ask me about my plan and if vegetarians can do it. So we'll talk about that at the end. The registration for my August program is closed. We closed it a few days ago, so it was full. So the registration for the September monthly plan will open August 14th. So thanks for joining me. I'm Dr. Glenna, naturopathic doctor and mother of 3 small children, and I'm the creator of your Guide to Optimal Health with Dr. Glenna. So let's jump in and talk about one change that I would recommend everybody making, and it would make a huge difference in so many aspects of your life. So you may be guessing it, but it is sugar. But I want to talk about all the benefits you're going to see, ideas that I can help you with on how to make it easier, because any addiction is not easy, and sugar is a strong addiction. There's changes in the brain that happen when we eat sugar, like increased dopamine, which is a feel-good hormone. So there's reasons why we become addicted to different things. So let's talk about the benefits. Some of the benefits that you'll see are better skin, better digestion, decreased inflammation in your joints and your bowel, definitely weight loss and fat loss specifically. You will not lose muscle. If you decrease sugar or cut out sugar, you will see a fat loss in your body. And my favorite when I hear the changes people experience when they cut out sugar is better energy. The reason I love hearing that is because they have more energy to do what they want to do in their life. And when you have better energy, you feel better, you're more productive, and you have much more fun because you're doing what you want to do. So let's talk about what sugar actually does in the body. And I'm going to simplify this and not talk about the biochemistry behind it, but just what symptoms that you will see if you eat a lot of sugar. So first of all, let me come up here, is your teeth. Rotting teeth. Sometimes we look for other reasons why we have certain symptoms. And sometimes it's basically just our diet. We kind of look for more complicated reasons sometimes, but diet makes a huge difference. So when you see rotting teeth, or you've been told by your dentist that your teeth are eroding and they wonder why, is it acidity, is it bad bacteria? Both of those, increased acidity and increased pathogenic bugs, all become worse or maybe be there just because there's high sugar in the diet. Because sugar lowers your pH, so it makes your whole body more acidic. And that will lead to things such as pathogenic bug growth, and also it'll affect your teeth. So other things. Sugar also overworks the pancreas, because the pancreas is the organ that puts out insulin. The more sugar we eat, the more insulin that we secrete. And we'll talk about that in a couple minutes, about some of the negatives about insulin. Also, increasing sugar will increase your inflammatory markers, so you actually will start to make more inflammation throughout the body. It feeds candida, a very common yeast that we all have in our body, but when you eat too much sugar, that yeast that has some good benefits will go into an overgrowth state. And that can cause many things, like different fungal problems on the body, and different infections, from sinus infections to vaginal infections in the body. And also, high sugar contributes to osteoporosis, because high sugar makes us more acidic. Then we start to pull calcium from our bone to buffer our blood to try to get the acidity more basic, and that can lead to osteoporosis. Sugar definitely stresses the adrenal glands and the nervous system, puts both of those systems into sympathetic overdrive, because sugar is a stimulant. And one thing that you will notice in the winter especially, the more sugar you eat, the more taxed your immune system is, because sugar, and this is white sugar specifically, will suppress that immune system. It will suppress your white blood cell function, and we need those little white blood cells to go around finding cancer cells, eating up viruses and bacteria. So suppressing the immune system is not an answer if you want to have a healthy immune system, you want to prevent autoimmune, or even treat your autoimmune. You want to get rid of sugar out of your diet. And the last reason is because sugar is super addictive. They've done tons of studies with rats and humans, and it's addictive, because we get a nice dopamine surge after we have sugar. And then our body looks for that again and again and again. So those are some reasons and what sugar actually does in our body. So I'll whip through them again. If you just joined, sugar rots your teeth, It makes you more acidic in your whole body. It contributes to irritable bowel syndrome. It can cause diabetes, and usually it's especially with type 2 diabetes, it's one of the biggest factors. So the more sugar you eat, the more stress you're putting on the pancreas, and you're overworking that pancreas. And eventually the pancreas will burn out and not be able to keep up with the demands of the insulin production that it is expected to do. Sugar feeds candida, an unhealthy type of yeast in our body that we all have, which is okay in small amounts. But when we start to eat more sugar, that candida will go in an overgrowth state, which contributes to different fungal infections on our skin. It can has a link with asthma. It can cause sinusitis. So also sugar will contribute to osteoporosis because sugar makes us acidic. When we're acidic, we got to steal calcium from those bones to buffer the blood. Then our bones become weaker. So sugar definitely stresses the adrenal glands and the nervous system because sugar is a stimulant and puts us into overdrive. And lastly, it taxes our immune system. So really puts a burden on the immune system and suppresses our white blood cell function, one of our main cells that do the work for the immune system. So let's talk about what you can do if you're trying to get sugar out of your diet. And the meal plan that I do monthly, there is no sugar in that plan, and people are doing it. So you can do it. You can eat without sugar. The less sugar you have, the less sugar you want. The more sugar you have, usually the more sugar you want. So that's the secret. But you can replace sugar with honey. You can replace it with maple syrup. You can replace it with organic agave. You can replace it with stevia. Your choice. Different people like different flavors. I use honey in different areas than I do maple syrup. Even stevia. Doing just water, squeezing about 2 or 3 lemons in that big 1 liter of water, and then putting a couple drops of stevia makes a really nice sugar-free and artificial sugar-free lemonade. It's awesome in the summertime. Put a couple ice cubes in there if you like a cold drink. And it tastes really similar to lemonade, and you gotta be careful how many drops of stevia you put in because it can become bitter if you use too much. Okay, so there's a couple things in your recipes. If it's a cup of sugar, you'll notice that you don't even need the same amount of maple syrup to get that nice sweet effect. And I also want to talk about the link between fatty liver and high triglycerides. So when we're eating too many carbs and sugar, more than our body needs and wants, we store it in the liver as glycogen. When that space in the liver where we're storing glycogen becomes full, we start to convert to fatty acids. Fatty acids then have to be stored somewhere in the body, and we store them in our tissue, which is the spare tire. So let's go back again. That's if you're eating too many carbs, too much sugar for what your body wants, you will have high triglycerides in your bloodstream. And because the sugar gets converted to fatty acids, the fatty acids are triglycerides. And that's a common test that your doctor will do if they're testing for cholesterol. And usually yearly, they'll also test triglycerides, if not 2 or 3 times a year. So that's the link too with fatty liver. It's very much linked to your diet because too many carbs and sugar, they get stored in the liver as glycogen. They then get converted to fatty acids, and there's more fat in our liver. So I also want to touch on the connection between sugar and cancer because sometimes we kind of make a disconnect with our health and what we're eating, but it's important to know that they're very much connected. What you're putting in your body while you're fueling your body really does determine your health. So with one kind of example I can use about how sugar and cancer are connected one way to measure cancer is to use a PET scan, and they actually inject radioactive glucose in the patient, and they see what tissues pick up this radioactive glucose, and that's how they can see where the cancer is, how the cancer has grown or how the cancer has spread. So it kind of tells you right there that our cancer cells love sugar. And I also want to say that we're always constantly battling infections, and we're battling changes in our cells every night when we're sleeping. So every day we're making a difference. We're making a kind of a choice about which path we're on, if we're preventing or if we're contributing to getting sick. So it's just something to think about. And do you have to stop sugar right away? No, you do not have to go cold turkey. You can make a change. And I would challenge you to starting today, make one change, whatever that is. It might be that you put sugar in your coffee. It might be that you drink Pepsi every day. And switching to Diet Pepsi is not the answer. And because aspartame is known as a neurotoxin. It's been linked with seizures, it's been linked with headaches, it's been because it damages the nervous system. So it's not. And I recently had a patient last month who was able to catch that on her own. She was having vision problems. And one day she went without her diet pop, and she got to where she was going, had her diet pop, her vision problems came right back. So she was able to link quickly, thank goodness. This had happened to her a few years ago, the link with her diet pop with her neurological symptoms. She quit it right away. The symptoms were gone, thank goodness. So always think about that. If you are someone that has aspartame in your diet and you're experiencing headaches or anything else neurological, any dizziness, any lightheadedness, if you're starting to have seizures, look and make sure there's no aspartame or any other artificial sweeteners in your diet, because we know now they're neurotoxins. We're not made to be consuming them in daily amounts. So let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to talk. Oh, also wanted to talk about the connection with sugar and make one more point between sugar and cancer. So sugar increases insulin. Insulin increases something called insulin-like growth factor. Insulin-like growth factor causes increase in growth in cells. So when you're increasing that, and if we have cancer cells in our body, we will increase the growth of those cancer cells. And like I said, cancer cells love to pick up glucose, which is kind of shown by how they test us with PET scans. They inject glucose in us and they see what lights up, and cancer cells light up like fireworks when they inject the radioactive glucose, which is just sugar. Glucose is just sugar. So hope I'm just looking to make sure I touched on everything. Oh, I wanted to give you guys some ideas for snacks, because usually sugar comes in through snacks more so than our meals. So some good snacks that will help you prevent sugar cravings, or if you're trying to wean your way off sugar, things like rice cakes with almond butter. And the reason why that's great is because there's protein and healthy fat. And if you can make sure that your blood sugar is not dropping, you will have an easier time not craving sugar. Dark chocolate is a great one, 75% or higher. Pears, apples, and blueberries with the skins on them. Those are more low glycemic. They don't raise your blood sugar as much. And also change your environment. It might be that you're used to, that every night at 6:30 you're used to having something sweet. Go for a walk, call a friend, do something different, just to get out of that habit. Green smoothies. So you might be looking for something sweet. Put some fruit and some dark greens and some almond milk. Splash of honey in a smoothie in a blender and make that instead of going for that cookie that has white sugar in it and maybe not so good calories. Water with lemon, I talked about that. It's kind of a homemade version of lemonade that I love. Or just have a snack in the middle of the afternoon that's high in protein, like nuts and seeds, or some avocado on a rice cake or a rice cracker too, are great snacks, and they will help so that you're not starving or your blood sugar won't be low an hour later. So again, don't tackle everything all at once unless you're super motivated, and I tend to have those people in my 30-day programs, which I love because they see huge transformations within weeks by taking out sugar and replacing it with healthy sweeteners such as honey and maple syrup. And all the recipes that I give, they don't have sugar, but there is some sweetness there to satisfy the brain to say, you're getting fed, you're getting your fat, you're getting your protein, you're getting your carbs, you're getting all your macronutrients. So, and I also want to mention two things. Please feel free to share this video, because I think together we can help people get healthier and feel better. And I would love to make clean eating the norm, so that the kids or the adults that are there eating clean and not eating the sweets, that's not the abnormal, that the clean eating is normal, and we can support each other. And the more people see other people eating clean, the more they're going to get interested and realize that that's the way we're supposed to eat. So we can really help and support each other. So feel free to share this video. The other thing I want to announce is that I had some different people over the last 6 months since I started my online program emailing me asking if it's suitable for vegetarians. And it's not a vegetarian meal plan. But for September, I'm going to put 2 meal plans in the program. There will be a vegetarian meal plan and a non-vegetarian meal plan. So the participants can choose. They're going to get access to both recipes, or meal plans, so they can choose which one they want to follow. If you're not vegetarian, and you don't want to be vegetarian, don't feel pressured at all, but I wanted to give the option for vegetarians. So for September, we're going to have 2 meal plans. The regular, non-vegetarian, and vegetarian. So if you know any vegetarian friends out there that you think might be interested, please let them know. The registration for the September online program will be open August 14th. So take care, and as always, if you guys have any comments or questions, please feel free to comment below. And thanks for your support, and I hope you have an awesome day. Take care. Bye-bye.